So you've found our RJC Models patron. First of all, I would like to say a massive thank you to you guys for pledging whatever you can to patron. So yeah, let's get straight into it. The first build will be the Terrell p34 6-wheel car. I have got a little bit of a confession with this one, is that I have started this one a little while ago. I've literally just built the engine up and the a bit of the painting, which I kind of try to do for some of my builds, and as you'll see as I post more, you'll see the way I like to build and that sort of thing. So yeah, let's get to it. I'll move the camera around and so you can see the bench. Okay, so what you're looking at there is a collection of pieces that I've already started on. This part here, as you can plainly tell, is the Ford FDV V8, which literally I've just got to put on the last crankcase cover there. So that's all that needs to be done. This bit just here is the floor pan, which I've painted silver. This bit I've left like this because you're not going to see it. It's going to be under the nose of the vehicle, so it's not too much of a problem. Now these two bits, this here is the exhaust pipe clusters. Obviously, because it is a V8, there are two lots of 4 clusters there for the exhaust, so it's coming out of the manifold. We've also got the alternator with the wires on there, so those are the wires that go to the separate cylinder heads. And also what I've done is I've painted the body. I've spray painted. I've used the airbrush to spray this colour, which is actual Terrell blue. So this is, so as you can see there, we've got the paint code, which is ZP1067. So you can buy this from Hero Boy or from Zero Paints. They are very good. They do smell a little bit. They do kick up a bit of a smell because I believe that they are lacquer. But they are very good paints. I do need to get some more of these paints for other colours. So yeah, that's where we're at with this build at the moment. What I'm going to do is I'll push forward onto the next stage, which I believe is obviously gluing that last little bit of cylinder head on there. But I think it's then putting it all together. But what I'm actually going to do before I do that is I'm going to attach this. Sorry, I'm going to paint this sort of an engine colour, and then what I'll do is I'll show you guys how I'm going to do some engine bluing onto the parts here, or some heat bluing, sorry, onto the parts here. So yeah, that will be coming up in the next bit. What I'm going to do there is I'm going to start by painting the exhaust manifolds and the engine block with some standard primer from Plasticoat. I am going to give them some very thin coats, very light coats with the just straight out of the rattle can there, just because the engine there has got quite a lot of detail on it, especially on the heads of the engine there. There's the little Ford logos and all the little bolt details that they've got there. So that's what I'm doing there, just giving it a bit of primer there. Coming back for a second coat just to make sure that everything's covered and everything's nice and primed, ready for the top coat. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start primering the exhaust manifolds. So I've just got the exhaust manifolds there, and the bit in the engine you're not going to see in some spring claps, just to keep the grip on the exhaust manifolds there. Going away and putting it back and coming in with the other one. What I'm actually going to do with this, you'll see it in a video just shortly, is I will be putting some chrome cover over this one, so it'll make it look nice and pop out and nice and stand outy. Also, I'm going to do some hot metal effects, but so I'll show you that later on in the video. Okay, so now it's time for the chrome coat. So what I've got here is a high coat chrome spray can. You can buy it from kind of anywhere. The range is where I've got that one from. It's fairly cheap and actually does quite a nice covering. So again, coming in nice and light, nice and even with the coats there, because I say this doesn't really need a lot of coverage because it is quite a thick paint. So as you can see, much making sure that I've got all the sides there, getting in the bits that I've missed. But again, just straight out of the rattle can. I'm not decanting it or anything, just because I don't really need the sort of level of control that you do need from the airbrush, just because it's going straight on as a top coat. Okay, so now it's time to do the metallic coat on the engine block. So again, as you can see there, I've got it in a spring clamp, and the colour I'm using is called a metallic gunmetal from High Coat again. This one I actually got from B&Q. It's called gunmetal, and yeah, it's quite an unusual find in B&Q, so I had to get it up and have a look. With the engine, as you can see there, I'm just being again very careful not to flood the detail, because there is quite a lot of detail on the engine block there. And I will be painting the top of the cylinder heads in a black by brush, because that is like a satin black. So I'm going to come in and fill that detail in after. Okay, so the paint I'm using is an Alcalad 2 lacquers. It's a hot metal violet, and basically what it is a transparent sort of violet-y purpley colour that represents hot metal. So what I'm doing here is I'm just doing some very light passes over places that would get more heat. So on the elbows of the exhaust pipe there as they come round off of the engine, and then I'm getting quite heavily down where all the pipes join together. So it's just very low PSI, very gentle passes, making sure that your airbrush isn't blocking, and just being very not gentle but just careful about it, taking your time there, and just making sure you get a nice coverage. You don't want to swamp it. It's not a paint color, it's a sort of like a tint, so you're just tinting the pipes there, just to kind of give the illusion of a hot metal pipe. Okay guys, so that's the first Patreon build finished and ready to show you guys what I've done so far. So what you're going to see at the end of this video is just a few clips and a few stills of the engine and the exhaust pipes of what I've done so far. So in the next video we'll be pushing on with the instructions, and I'm not sure what's coming next, but stay tuned. If you want some more great content, so shoot over to Facebook and to YouTube and also to Instagram to keep up to date with what's going on. Also, if you shoot over to rjcmodels.com, join the forum there, you can chat with like-minded people and also see what's new and what's upcoming with RJC Models. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in part 2. Thank you. Bye.